Well, congratulations on this movie. It is a real piece of filmmaking about a very tough yet inspiring subject, and the audiences really have seemed to embrace this. How does that feel?
Oh, it's the most wonderful feeling. And not as a filmmaker, as somebody who really loves and believes in Louis. I loved him so much, and he was so funny. Mm-hmm. He was really one of the funniest people you'd ever meet. So full of life, so aware of the hardest aspects of life, and through that embraced every day with this fire and this humor and this love that was infectious.
How much more responsible do you feel to a story when you know that there's a real person attached to this, and that you've met and now are connected to?
It's a huge responsibility. I lost so many sleepless nights and so many moments of self-doubt because...
Really?
Oh, of course, because especially when somebody is your own actual hero. It's my second film, and it's a huge film. And there were so many things, from shark attacks and plane crashes. I've never directed anything like that. I often thought, this is too important, and this is too big, and I don't know how I got here, and I don't want to fail him. I don't want to fail him.
In fact, I just co-hosted the Rose Parade, and he was the posthumous Grand Marshal. What do you think he would have thought about that?
Oh, he would have loved it. He grew up here, and he every year would watch it on television. You know, this is a big deal for him, and he would have been excited.
When I was watching him, the scene where his mom is making the gnocchi, he's sitting on and for half a moment, I thought, that almost looks like Angelina Jolie making the gnocchi. I mean,
oh, my kids would disagree. I don't think they've ever seen me make gnocchi, but I think they'd love that image. I should try that. I would love to think of myself as the classic mom at home, being able to...
Are you a decent cook?
I'm one of those people that I'll learn this, like a random exotic meal from, I can do a really interesting Afghan dish with eggplant, but I don't know how to make basic spaghetti. I'm just that person.
You've got a film coming out this year. You're directing this young, up-and-coming actor, some guy named Brad Pitt. What was that like directing your husband?
It was great. It's a funny thing. I think it's more that you get nervous because you love somebody and you want to help them. You want to give, as a director, you want to help your actor. As a wife, you really want to help your husband. So you want everything to be right for them. But there's something we found, which is if you work with the person you love and trust most in this world, it's pretty great because you really try things with each other and you trust, and you as artists, you get very bold because you're together.
Is it true you described it as a honeymoon?
Well, it technically was our honeymoon. We actually had this little cove where we filmed, and we'd built this hotel on one side, and on the other side was the house where the kids were doing school. So we had this like really strange little relationship. It was like a honeymoon, just a on-screen, slightly dysfunctional one.
Yeah, well, you talk about supporting each other, and it's time for the premiere of Unbroken, and you're down with the chicken pox. And Brad ends up taking 3 of the kids. I mean, what was here's your big moment, and chicken pox? It
was so absurd. What was even stranger is I think during the day before, I was trying to do interviews, and I kept thinking, what's happening today? It's strange. But of course, it was really fun that my kids took the mantle. They took it very seriously when I said, "You've got to represent Mom. You got to do this for me and do this." My kids knew and loved Louis, so you got to do this for Louis. You got to get out there, and so they were excited about the mission.
I love Shiloh wearing the suit and tie.
Yeah, and she had Louis' shoe on that he won in 1940.
Wow. Yeah. That this truly is, in a sense, a gift that keeps giving.
Oh, yes, he will forever be that inspiration. To put our best foot forward, to think of others, to see challenges and take them face on and try to find the best in life. And he wanted this film to be a reminder to others of what they're capable of.
So you're waiting to hear his reaction. How did he feel about it?
When I found out he'd gone into the hospital, I was in the editing room, and I brought the film to him, and we watched it together on my laptop. I was watching somebody at the end of their life watch their life, remember their friends who died, remember their mother and how she made gnocchi, remembering when he crossed those finish lines and when he held that plank up. I think he was just, he was preparing to pass away when he was watching the film. But before I left the hospital room, he told me a really inappropriate joke. And I thought, what? And I left the room smiling. I came in here worried about him, and I was going to leave crying, and instead he wanted to put a smile on my face, and he wanted me to know it was okay, and he took care of me. And
That's a gift.
that's who Louis was. Louis was greater than you could ever put on screen.
In 2014, you were one of 2 female directors who directed, big studio movies. Do you hope that the door gets opened for more female talent behind the camera as opposed to in front of it?
Yes, and I'm sure it will. I know many great, talented women that just need those breaks, because I've seen their work on a smaller scale, so they're coming. I personally get more out of directing. I love being with the film for years, and I love shepherding every aspect of it, and I love shining a camera on somebody else. And I love seeing other actors work, and I love being in the editing room and protecting their performances. And I love being in the kind of more in the field with everybody. I like to just be there with my boots on and doing work.
If I can take it, I can make it.
So all in all, are you pleased with what's on the screen with Unbroken? Is it or do you watch it and say, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that?
I'm sure I'll always have a bit of that, but I'm pretty good at backing away. And what I see too, I don't see my work. I see everybody's work when I watch a scene, and I think we all really came together and we did our best, and it's a beautiful memory.
I mean, I think a lot of people were shocked it didn't get nominated for Golden Globes.
We've had some lovely responses and lovely accolades, but nothing beats the audience responding to it. That's obviously, when you make this kind of a film, all the other stuff is wonderful, but it really means nothing if the audience doesn't connect to it, because this film is made for them. That would have been heartbreaking for us if we didn't connect to the audience. So we're over the moon.
I also asked Angelina about the Sony hacking incident, some of the stolen emails between Scott Root and Amy Pascal, obviously about her, and she declined comment. So.
She did a great job with this movie.
Yeah.
But she had great material to work with.
She
Louis
absolutely
Zamperini's life is an unbelievable
Yeah,
story.
and you look at this movie, there's so many aspects to it. It's a war movie. It's a movie. It's a sports movie. It's a movie about survival. It's set at large chunks of it at sea.
Yeah.
So she had to bring a lot of different skills.
And you can tell her heart is in it.
Yeah.
You know.